Welcome, welcome to Puck Yourself. This is November 7th, so we have, what was it, the Tuesday game?
I've had 4 games.
4 games since we last saw.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
three. We were watching one.
Seattle.
We were watching the Seattle game.
And then the next game,
You had St. Louis on Saturday, Minnesota on
right,
Sunday,
right,
and Boston on Tuesday.
right. Okay, so we've got a lot to go off of.
Episode 6, by the way.
Episode 6. We finally have the first 4 uploaded.
Yeah,
Took a little bit of figuring out
yeah.
that one and a little bit of scheduling.
We're learning.
We're learning. We've got a good workflow, so we should be getting more consistent uploads now.
Yeah, hopefully weekly. We can drop weekly
Yeah.
now. We'll drop
Um,
5 and 6 this week,
we've got it into a nice process. So.
and then we'll weekly drops from there.
What's new with you?
Uh,
What's new in the hockey world?
There's a lot new in the hockey world.
Okay.
So we will talk the games. Talk some of the games. So we left off they're in the Seattle game. I
Yeah.
believe they were up 3-0 already when we were
Yeah.
watching. Nylander was buzzing.
Yeah.
Really more of the same in that game. They were all over the place.
Um, Seattle made a bit of a comeback, if I recall. The thing ended
Yeah,
what,
there was a
5-2?
little. It was 4-1.
Oh, okay.
It's an empty netter at the end, I think.
Right, right, right. Good game at least. Like
Yep, a lot better than what it was the
that was
previous
Halloween night.
Halloween night. Yeah,
Um, and then the next game was Sunday, and that was
Saturday, St. Louis.
right.
That was Chiefs' return to St. Louis.
Not a great
Yeah,
return.
it was not great. It was better than the last time they played St. Louis a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
which I mean, it's pretty hard not to be better than that game. But the first period was really good. They were all over them. They were skating. Was it
Oh,
1-0? 1-0.
this is the one I was at dinner, so I only caught the third
Yeah,
period. From what I
yeah.
heard, it was like we opened the scoring, fell apart in the second,
We were all over them in the first. We should have been up a couple goals actually. Bennington kept them in it.
and then in the third, it was kind of competitive.
The third was kind of it
Better.
wasn't not really much going on. It was kind of
Yeah.
and they got three in the second. Pareko scored 2 goals.
One
So
timer, I believe,
yeah,
from the point, and
yeah.
then Rister on the left side.
I don't recall, but we outshot we
Big
out
boy scoring some goals.
we outshot them 12-4 in the first and 17-6 in the third.
What
So the
what
second was just an implosion.
what happened in the second? Shots wise.
It was 14-8 for them, so not like too horrible, but just the overall play, and it was more defensive zone
What was in
lapses,
net was the other
coverage. Yeah, they were all St. Louis. They were chief goals.
way. Yeah.
Traffic in front, pucks to the net.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Okay.
Um,
We get over it Sunday.
it wasn't the worst game, but that second period, it was the one period.
And just
Yeah,
that much of a lapse can be allowed to come back
yeah.
from.
And then Sunday was in Minnesota.
Oh,
I missed the beginning of this one. I believe I started watching in the second.
um, this one we were driving back from
Yeah,
my parents' place. We got here, I think, halfway through the first. Um, it was a competitive game. It was the haunting thing with this one was the overtime.
yeah. Do we want
Do you want to go?
do you want me to go? Listen, I'm not. If you've listened to episode 4 yet, you've heard my rant. Um, I'm not exactly sure what Domi was trying to do. I am sure what he was trying to do.
He's trying to kick it up and win a
He,
foot race.
he's trying to win the foot race. Okay, 5-on-5, sure.
You had
There's plenty of guys on the ice. You have coverage behind you, and he probably thinks I'm the highest guy up the ice, so I'll be fine. But it's
OEL goes to the bench.
OEL goes for a change. McCabe gets the worst minus ever. The guy didn't even do anything wrong. All he did was walk onto the ice, and the guy was in on a breakaway.
Dumb stat.
Yeah. Um, but you have to understand your surroundings. It's 3-on-3.
Yeah.
You if you give the puck away, if you give puck possession away in 3-on-3, it better be to shoot the puck.
And I didn't go back. I was curious how long OEL had been there or why there was a change at that specific moment.
They've been on the ice for a little bit, right? It's 3-on-3. You want to get it. You want to
quick changes.
30-second shifts. That's what it is. Every other shift was 30 seconds. They got caught in their own zone for a shift. Domi gets puck possession. He doesn't need. There's no pressure on him. He doesn't need to do that.
And that's why I was wondering, because it's like, if you're a defenseman, you're gonna, I don't know, you're watching the play, you see it kick up, but none of the time, it's not like Domi kicked it up and it seemed like he was winning the foot race. It was like, a bad play. And I know what he's trying to do, but it was close the entire time. I'm curious why OEL was that far out of the play when it wasn't like
Because
a long foot race. It wasn't at the blue line.
Well, but as soon as he gets possession, he's going for the change
Because he wants to get
because
offense out there.
because they want to get fresh legs on the ice.
Yeah.
And he did the right thing. Well, it's 3-on-3 overtime. If you don't have the puck, it's really hard to get the puck back.
Yeah.
It's extremely difficult to get the puck back. You have to try and get a face off.
Because the teams are playing the whole ice.
Exactly. Most teams, if something's not there, they're just going to walk outside the blue line and reset.
A lot of space.
Right?
Lot of space to work with, not much pressure.
You're not going to take stupid risks that you can get away with 5-on-5 because there's more guys on the ice.
Yeah.
3-on-3, if you take a dumb risk, how the Leafs are so bad at 3-on-3 overtime.
with the speedy
well,
talent guys.
I could tell you why they're so bad.
Oh,
They have all that talent, but it's because they try and do dumb shit that they get away with 5-on-5 because there's more guys on the ice. But you do it 3-on-3 and you don't have 4 other guys to make up for you.
Yeah.
If you're the deepest guy on the ice and typical like Marner Domi shit, and you try and make a stupid sauce through 10 guys' legs and it hits shin pads, you're gonna lose possession. So Domi chips it out and tries to win a foot race. Okay, Domi's straight line speed is good, but he's not good off the hop. He needs a couple strides to get going.
Yeah,
and he loses the foot race by 1.5 miles. Keep the puck. You can still skate down the ice with the puck on your stick.
Yeah, and you're fast. Like you can skate with it. You didn't need to do.
You didn't need to do that.
If anything, you just took a scenario that you're in control of. Yeah, you're getting attacked on, but you still have an edge because you've controlled the puck, and you just made it a 50-50.
I just said
you can cut back anytime you want.
I won't go on too much of a tangent here.
I think Domi's an okay player. I know you hate him, but this was like unequivocally agreement. This was a bad play.
I don't hate him. He's just kind of another Marner to me. I don't.
And not as good Marner.
Nowhere near as good. I don't hate Domi. I hate the perception that he's a secondary scoring tough guy. He's not a tough guy.
It was something like his 4th hit on Tuesday.
On the season?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Case in point. But because he face washes guys after the whistle gets blown.
And who his dad is.
Yeah. Because of what his last name
is. He came in with a reputation, especially if you didn't watch him in.
If you've actually ever seen him play before, that's not his game.
Yeah. But in Toronto, everyone's going to see that last name and be like, I know what I'm about to get. And it's not.
Yeah. Anyway, from what I saw, it wasn't a horrible game. It wasn't terrific. And you just gifted. You got a point. But you gifted the second point away.
And credit to Minnesota. I mean,
Minnesota's been a really good team this year.
They played well.
Yeah.
And Toronto was doing okay. Like they were shutting down some of their top guys to hold the game.
Kaprizov didn't get a point.
No power play. I don't think it was a power play goal that they scored.
Minnesota, no.
And so it's like, and they're a great power play team. So I thought they played well. Just sucks to lose on something like that when you're playing well like that.
I don't get it.
Next up was
Boston on Tuesday was the last game.
I don't think you watched this.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
I watched. I missed the first probably half. Pardon?
I heard that you hadn't watched.
I missed like the first half.
Okay.
But I watched the second half. So it's Tuesday.
No Matthews. This is when he's a
Tuesday
healthy
night.
scratch because he's out with upper body.
Yeah,
injury of some sort.
Matthews missed.
So they rearranged the lines.
Yeah.
I think it was Domi on line one.
It was.
So I like him for his faceoffs. His faceoffs in the playoffs last year, especially, were phenomenal. He was like 70% when
Listen,
they did put him up there.
I'm a big faceoff guy. I love winning faceoffs as much as the next guy.
It's easy to score
But if you
goals.
suck at everything else,
Yeah,
then it doesn't really
yeah.
do anything for me.
But they played well, and suddenly we have a fucking power play now.
Yep. I don't know what the hell happened in the
One of the
week.
one of the things that I saw was suddenly Matthews isn't there. It's not everyone looking for the Matthews pass and just trying to set him up.
Yeah, but they
And they're
scored on
forced to adapt.
they scored on Saturday too, I think, on
They
the
do.
power play.
They do. I'm just saying,
And Seattle, they scored on the power play against
three
Seattle.
in one game was phenomenal.
Yeah. Um, St. Louis, I believe they got one.
Also,
No,
if we're
not St.
jumping
Louis.
back to St. Louis,
It was Seattle on Thursday.
Buchnevich or whatever it is, absolutely crushing. I forget who he fought.
No, I guess they didn't. So it would have been Boston then. Maybe it was the Minnesota game.
They were like 4 for 39 or something like that in terms of power
Yeah,
play. So to get
yeah,
three in one night was just like
yeah,
great job against Swayman. I mean, I know it's like a more struggling Boston team right now, but it's still a tough team
yeah,
nonetheless. Like you don't like playing them,
yeah. Stillers are good in the third. You
especially
got a
after
shutout.
you might have. Did you see the next shot?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
to come back and stay
yeah,
focused, and he just never gives up on the puck. I don't know. I'm really, really on the Stolarz train hard.
yeah. He's been good so far. No complaints here.
No,
I'm not nailing down any. I'm not saying this guy's gonna start. This guy's gonna start. I think Wall hasn't been horrible. He hasn't been peak Wall, but I can't say I've watched any goals that were dramatically horrible.
no, and you do just need to see more work.
And it's October. It's
Yeah.
November.
Yeah,
Like
just starting November.
it's
Still early.
it's still tons of time left in the season. So I'm not gonna sit here and say this guy is gonna be the starter in
82
November.
games, guys.
You ride the hot hand. Stolarz is the hot hand. You still get Wall into some games. Stolarz gets a couple more starts than
The
Wall.
days of a goalie getting like 60 starts in a season is
Yeah,
just done. It's not how
that's
you're doing it
unless you
anymore.
have some freaks. There's a couple freaks out there.
Yeah.
And even then they're still not getting what it used to be. That's it. But yeah, the Boston game was a lot better from what I saw.
Riley, goal to assist.
Yeah.
Nice shot. Beautiful
Yeah.
shot.
Nyes just every game.
Nyes is really getting a stride.
It's every game.
And he's working hard and he's winning battles and it's just like holy shit, we have a Leafs prospect.
Yeah.
A homegrown prospect.
Homegrown prospect. Too bad he's not a defenseman because all of those sting.
With 23, I think he is.
Mm,
Is he younger than that even?
I don't know if was he a junior when he left school. I'm not sure.
They had a pixel. Is he?
I'd have to look here. 22. 23 next year.
Phenomenal for this young.
Nylander this week.
Yeah.
This is when you say that he's worth 11.5 million. That when he has this type of week.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just want it to be all the time, right? But
foreshadowing to the Four Nations conversation.
It could be a lot worse. You could be another Swede in Vancouver, right? So
there's a lot of Swede talk tonight, and so I think to introduce Nylander now is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Nylander had a really good week.
And I didn't
just looks on
this, but our girlfriend's father told me that his brother is actually having a hell of a year in the AHL.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't heard much from the Marlies, but I do know that his brother's deal is strictly minor league deal. So if they wanted him to come up, they would have to sign him to a pro deal.
Some money.
Yeah. That to be sometime probably would be a two-way deal, I'd imagine, or three-way because I think he's on a two-way right now, but it's just the coast and the A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, leading the goalie demolishing the goals in the AHL, so that's good.
Good. Matthews sounds like he's not going to play again this weekend.
No, from the Berube quote,
he didn't practice today, so we'll see.
It's not out of the question, but it was.
Yeah, the
I don't even know what he's hurt with. It's just upper
it's
body.
typical hockey. It's upper or lower body. Hockey doesn't.
Yeah.
They never tell you what it is. And football, you'll know if the guy stubbed his pinky toe, but in the NHL, it's like if
Upper
it's
body or
above the hip, it's upper body. If it's under the hip, it's lower body. So yeah, we kind of touched on the power play. Just find our scoring overall is very streaky this year. It's like
Yeah.
one game we get 1 or 0, and the next game we're popping off for 4 or 5. There's no in between.
Yeah.
I don't understand where that is coming from. Not sure. Would like to see it be a little more consistent.
Yeah.
Obviously, new system. It's a lot more north south than east west now, so they're trying to get used to it. But I feel like some of the guys like Nyes, it's working better for Nyes. It's
Yeah.
like I feel like guys like McMahon, it would be better for his game, right?
Yeah.
Guys like that. Where it's only really like Marner and Nylander that I feel like it should affect that much.
Yeah. You still want more from Matthews at this point.
Yeah. Offensively, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, McMahon started hot, but he's cooled down a lot. So it's mostly been Nylander and
Marner's
some of
got
these
a
random
bunch of
pieces.
assists, but like 2 goals or something.
Yeah, and then Pacioretty. OEL has gotten decent production overall.
And I mean, we say Matthews. Matthews needs to be
Riley.
better, and Matthews is still like just under a point per game. That's like garbage for Matthews.
Yeah, because he
point
had
per
that.
game, so
He
like
had that billiard shot. In,
yeah,
is it the Seattle game?
yeah,
Off
yeah,
the
yeah.
boards all the way to the other end. That was so cool.
Yeah, the empty net. Yeah, yeah. Matthews and Tavares have the exact same stat line, and we're sitting here saying Matthews has been junk, and we've been praising Tavares.
After last year, it's just
Yeah.
like the
Yeah,
expectation is
it's
so
just
high.
ridiculous. Like it's
Yeah.
not. It's chances are he's never gonna hit that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Nice. We praise Nice. Nice has less points than right.
Yeah.
Domi, no
What's Riley
goals,
at now?
of course. Riley has 4 goals, 5 assists, 4 goals.
Like,
I didn't
that's not
realize.
bad.
That's not bad, yeah.
Pacioretty's got a couple of
2
goals.
goals, 4 assists. McMahon, yeah, McMahon.
Lorentz, I think, is 3 on the year.
Lorentz has. Where is he? I don't see him. There he is. 3 goals, 1 assist.
Like, when you can get some fourth
He's
line
got the
scoring
same
like that,
stat line as McMahon, and McMahon gets a lot more ice.
take it.
Yeah. That's all I have for on ice stuff.
Okay.
Anything else on ice from the
Not
week?
really. It's cool seeing like the guys stick up for each other. You had Reeves, I think it was in the Minnesota game or Boston game. You had Matthews come in when who was it that got beat up in the St. Louis game? Anyway, the guys just seem to be forming a culture of like actually.
Yeah, McCabe. I think it was McCabe got dummied in that fight.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just nice to see that like they seem to have a little bit more grit, and it's going beyond just like finishing your hit. It's more kind of cultural, and you have that example being set.
Just need 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Can't have those 2 St. Louis performances.
No.
And all the connections. Berube coached there. Reeves played in St. Louis for a while. Wall's from St. Louis. So it's like, okay, we have a lot of reason to be playing better, and we're not. Anyway, it's only 2 games.
What's next?
The rest of the week. So I just a couple off ice things. So Dewar and Hakanpää were both put on conditioning loans to the AHL this week, but I don't think the Marlies played on the weekend, and I think you have to play at least 3 games in the conditioning stint, so they still have a little bit of
really?
Yeah, a little bit of time before they can come back up anyway.
So maybe in 2 weeks.
So it's gonna be you still have a couple weeks, but the cap room is an issue. And if they do come back, like what do we think? Do we think they slot right in? Do you think they're in and out?
I think it depends on how they do in the conditioning. The worries is Hakanpää ready for it.
I would imagine Hakanpää's in and out. Him and Timmins will probably be in and out.
Yeah,
that's what I would assume. Maybe Benoit because Benoit and Hakanpää are more similar in style.
Yeah, fair.
That's kind of just the thinking, but he might just stick with Timmins coming in and out, right?
So you see how they do, I think.
Yeah, and then Dewar, I think if Dewar is just competent. I think
Why
he
was
stays in the.
Dewar out?
I'm not sure what the injury was, but I think if Dewar's just competent because of his ability on the penalty kill, I think he probably stays in the lineup.
Sure.
But they'll still get Mix Reeves in.
Yeah.
I'm not because he want that physical element, but Reeves isn't going to play every night, right? So, um, but the player I'm hearing a lot of that might have to make way to make the cap space is the guy they literally just got in the Lilligren trade.
Was it
Is
Benning?
Benning. I'm hearing a lot of could Benning get dealt, right? And
I know next to nothing about the guy, so I don't even know if he's any good.
I've very rarely seen him play. Like it's not. He's kind of he's a vet guy. He'll play his role, third pairing guy. He'll block shots. He's just a typical third pairing.
He'll have him available.
Steady Eddie.
If Tanev needs a night off for blocking how many shots, if he can do that role, then great.
Benning's an NHL defenseman. So I think the Leafs are trying to be fair to him. They don't want to just bring him in and.
Were you the one mentioning to me you think they might deal him?
Yeah.
Soon?
Well, they need the cap space to bring these guys back, right?
So
especially when Yarncroke comes back, they definitely need the cap space.
So just get some picks in return and
they just need to
let him play
bite the
else.
bullet, and yeah, that's kind of where it seems to be going. I'd have to check how much cap space they have right now. I was looking at it the other day. Let me see here. I have to navigate the new website because cap friendly is no longer a thing. So
thanks, Washington.
Yeah.
Because in terms of salary cap, that's per season, correct? Like there wouldn't be any end of year increases. It's pretty much locked in.
Yeah. So they have 3 million in cap space right now.
Okay.
But then toss in those two players. Hakanpää is 1.47 and Dewar's 1.18. And
Okay.
what did I say? 3 mil?
Yeah.
So they have enough to get those two guys in.
They deal Benning.
No, without dealing Benning.
They're just under?
They're just under, but that doesn't leave you much left. And when Yarncroke comes back, that's another 2 million.
So you need to trade him.
And Benning's only 1.25. So yeah, I don't know what the plan will be. I'm looking at the rest of the lineup. I don't really see anyone else that they would want to part ways with.
Not really.
He seems to not mind Timmins.
Pretty solid role.
Yeah, the first 5 defensemen are pretty much locked in.
Yeah.
We'll see how he feels about Yarncroke. I don't know. I've always liked Yarncroke. I thought he was a little disappointed at the end of the year, but he did come back from a long injury.
Yep.
And he played the last couple of regular season games and the playoffs.
So how many games? Like, are we literally talking 5 games in the season?
For Yarncroke?
Yeah.
Last year?
When did he come back?
No, it was late. I'm not even sure he did play a regular season game when he came back. It might have just been right in the playoffs. But
again,
it's a lot. It's a lot to ask of a guy to come in after that long of a layoff, and the play is that intense, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't really see much out of him. He's a responsible player, so he doesn't make any stupid plays, right? But just so we'll see how Berube feels about him. He's not a massive guy.
No.
If Robertson at some point during the season they feel it's not working out,
yeah, or he needs to be somewhere else.
Yeah, who knows? Holmberg. It sounded like at the beginning of the season that Chief liked Holmberg a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm getting the sense that he's not not as big on him.
That's fizzled.
Because he has been scratched a couple nights here, so I'm not sure there. But yeah, that's just a rumor. We'll see what happens there. Benning makes 1.25. And I imagine you signed Hakanpää specifically, signed him in this offseason, so I'd imagine
he's going to get
precedent, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see. And then Dewar was re-signed. He was a free agent, so they re-signed him. So they obviously saw something there. So yeah, we'll see. That's all I got. Anything else on the Leafs?
No.
Nylander.
We kind of
We,
talked
we
about
covered
Thunder Lightning and
Nylander. He
stuff.
was all over this week. Yeah, that's all I got.
What's next?
All right. So I'm not sure if it was the same night that we recorded. I think it was the same night we recorded last. Carolina beat Boston 8-2. It was that night.
Okay.
I believe we mentioned the scoreline a couple times,
It's been high scoring season.
but 8-2.
That's so many goals.
What the fuck is going on in Boston?
I don't know. You just have Swayman. You just re-signed him.
Who's been
He's
terrible?
been awful. I don't even know who their backup is this season.
Corpusalo.
Right. Haven't seen any games with him. Like I haven't been watching a whole lot of Boston games, but they're so bad.
It's just they're not the same team.
No.
The structure myth, it's gone. We
E-
talked about it in the season preview show, and we're being proven correct. I
They,
am anyway.
yeah,
You still had them.
I did. I still thought it would be good enough.
You had them better than Tampa. That's
They're
all I'm gonna say.
okay. Yeah, that was a hot take.
Yeah.
They are taking so many bad penalties.
Yeah,
Like
they are.
so many bad
I don't know
penalties.
what's going on. Uh, they won on Saturday and Sunday. I believe they played a matinee on Saturday. They beat Philly, and then they won on
That's
Sunday against Seattle. So
that's a good win.
that's 3-0 and 2-0. They had back-to-back shutouts. And imagine both goalies played because it was a
Back to back.
back-to-back.
Yeah.
Corpusalo played Saturday,
And that was against who?
Philly, and then Swayman played Sunday against Seattle. So they both had shutouts, but then they came out on Tuesday against the Leafs and had an absolute stinker. So
So just the consistency?
I don't, and I mean Philly and Seattle aren't exactly
No,
lighting the world on
Philly's
fire
gone.
here.
Philly is
Seattle hasn't been
awful right
good,
now.
and Philly's been horrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, anytime Boston plays a half decent team, it doesn't look to be working out too well. I'm not sure if they're on tonight. I don't think so. Oh yeah, the 1-1 with Calgary right now in the first.
All those Konecki owners are just
Connect me, yeah. Um, also Pasta got benched in the third period on Sunday against Seattle.
and like I haven't seen his stat line recently, but everyone's saying he's been quiet. Like just
Yeah,
not
just like the playoffs last year. I don't. He got 6 goals, 5 assists, so not like
okay. That's still better than
terrible, but
nothing then.
I think it was a turnover.
Is it
It was
similar?
a bad turnover, and I think Montgomery was pissed, and he's just trying to Montgomery's just trying to make an example of the big dogs. He was giving Marchand shit earlier in the year. Pasta's getting benched now. He's trying to tell the rest of the team it doesn't matter who you are, what your name is.
And he's on and Montgomery's on a contract here.
Yeah, this is the last year.
He has to put it
Yeah,
together.
yeah,
Otherwise, he could be looking for a new job.
yeah. Very, very, which is crazy to say because I believe Boston has overachieved the past couple of years
With what they've
with the
had,
with the
even
roster
last
they have.
even last year, yeah, you have Pasta, you have, um, I mean, Marshall's not a goal scorer really, but he's okay.
Marchand's not the player he was.
And so it's just like I don't know.
They brought Lindholm and Zadorov in, and it hasn't really looked.
No, Lindholm's been quiet. Uh,
So I don't know.
there's no one out there who's like, here's a lot of support scoring that's gonna happen.
Pasta and Marshall are the only guys that have double-digit points in their team right
Where's
now.
Coyle at right now?
Coyle is way down the list here. 2 goals. That's it. 14 games.
Like that's just not good enough.
That's tough. Um, they did sign Tyler Johnson.
Yes,
He was on a
who I was unaware of.
he was on a PTO in training camp, and they didn't sign him. And a lot of Bruins fans wanted them to sign him because he played well in the preseason,
So now they're going
but they
okay.
didn't sign him, and then now they've signed him. So I don't know.
It's similar to the Leafs. I think you're gonna try a lot of
Just
things.
trying different things.
Yeah.
He's kind of a water bug out there. He's buzzing around. He's not a big guy, but
How old is he? He was with Tampa when they won.
yeah, I think so. He would have been on the roster, yeah.
Okay, so he's be late 20s.
Yeah, something like that, I'd say. Oh no. Ooh, he's 34. I
So
didn't realize he's been around that long.
you're going for anyone at this point. You're
I
just trying
didn't
to show
realize
off.
he was been around that long. They've been brutal.
They're
Every
looking
time
for
I've watched them, they've looked brutal. Terrible. I've watched them a couple times.
Hey, Boston, your time, buddy.
The one game against Florida, I watched them like early in the season. Was probably the best I've seen them play. And it was just an absolute goon
Is that when
squad of a game.
is that when Kachuk was still out?
Yeah, it was Barkov and Kachuk were out, and it was an absolute shit show.
A true battle of two absolute
Yeah,
gutless
those two
teams.
teams would be the ones to do that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's
Boston's in a tough zone.
yeah. On the other end, Carolina is unbelievable.
I can never say his name. Coach Kitov,
Kachetkov.
Kachetkov,
So the goalie
on a
tandem,
winning streak.
Freddie and Kachetkov have been really good. I know Freddie just got
Why?
hurt.
I was gonna say, why did I think is he hurt actively?
I think he just had the injury, but I don't think it's a bad one. I think
Okay.
it's short term
I
stuff.
didn't see why he was hurt. I don't know if it happened in a game or what.
I didn't see what happened either. They're up 2-0 on Pittsburgh right now.
They should. Well, yeah, Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And Kochetkov is in, so maybe Freddie's still out. I'm not sure. But the tandem's been really good so far. Kochetkov is 6-1, 272 GAA, 878 save percentage isn't terrific, and then Freddie's 3-1 with 1.49 GAA and 941 save percentage. So Freddie,
Holy smokes!
less games, less sample
Interesting.
size, but holy shit. And the one player I really want to talk about, we kind of mentioned him a little bit. Martin Necas is popping off.
Is he point per game?
2 points per game. 20 points in 11
That's
games.
pretty good.
7 goals, 13 assists.
That's insane.
That's what we've been waiting. That's what Carolina's been waiting
That's
for.
actually insane.
And now that the opportunity is finally like fully there, that he has to step up. It's not we're expecting him to step up, but we have other guys in case they let some players go in the offseason.
And he's
He has to.
Orlov absolutely
Orlov.
blasting.
Did he get 2 against his old team the other night?
Yeah.
No one else is like jumping off the page offensively. Aho's 10 points. Svechnikov's 12 points. Nothing too crazy. Actually, Roslovic has been buzzing this week.
Has he really?
He's got 7 goals this year.
The former Ranger?
Yeah.
And Columbus Blue Jacket?
Yeah. I think in the past week he's got like 4 or 5 goals.
He was always talented. He was talented when he was in Columbus. He was a little bit, I think, just drowned out in New York.
Yeah, it's just not the right fit there.
But coming to Carolina,
Carolina's the perfect fit.
I'm glad he's getting his footing.
Yeah, he's the last week or so he's been buzzing. I picked him up in fantasy for a
I saw that
stream today. Unfortunately for you, but not that that matters. You're gonna dummy me anyway.
I'm up a little bit.
He scored again tonight.
Where are those scores right now?
He scored tonight against Pittsburgh. He scored Tuesday night against Philly. He didn't score Sunday against Washington, but Thursday against in the 8-2 game he had 2. He had 1 against Vancouver the night before. He had 1 against Calgary a couple nights before that. He's buzzing. Yeah. Carolina. Everyone was down on them. I was saying
Can't give up on Rod Brind'Amour.
it's the players don't matter on that team.
No.
It's the structure.
He's just
The players matter, but it's the offensive stuff that people talk about. Oh, they don't have the scoring, blah blah blah. Well, they're 9-2 and in first place in the division. So, and I like seeing them do well. I like Carolina. They have the best. I think they have the least amount of goals against in the league right now.
a fun team to watch.
Tied with Dallas. Yeah.
Are they still doing the end of game nonsense?
I'm not sure.
I hope they are.
I'm not sure if they are.
Yeah, really nice seeing
Carolina's going. They're giving her. We can jump to the games in Finland that we mentioned last week.
Oh yeah,
So Florida and Dallas.
Is that like 2:00?
Florida and Dallas played Friday and Saturday in Finland, and it was actually in Barkov's hometown.
Oh, that's cool.
And Barkov scored in his hometown.
Let's go.
Good for him.
I wasn't able to watch because
I was in the middle of the day on Friday. I was at work.
And then Saturday.
I'm not sure, but I didn't watch it.
I think Florida won both.
Florida won both. Tough trip for Dallas. Tough trip.
They're gonna do just fine.
That's the first little bit of
Adversity.
they've had this year because they've been buzzing out of the gate here.
Yeah. Duchesne.
Um,
Not points.
yeah,
6 goals, 5 assists.
that's half their losses was in one weekend this year, so
They're doing
eh,
they're doing just fine.
they're good. There's a lot of Finnish guys. There's a lot of Finnish guys on those two teams. You have Barkov, Heiskanen, Hintz, Lundell, and Lindell.
It's cool that like you can do that. That's how you're gonna grow the game.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
So whoever did the scheduling there, Bettman, you got it right. And Florida isn't slowing down.
Kachuk's back.
Kachuk
And
hasn't been. He's been a little quiet,
just to have that guy back in the room
but
now,
it's just
warrior.
he's just kind of like when Kachuk's on the ice, you know it.
Yeah.
Like there's a
Even if
feeling,
because
even if he's not putting points on.
yeah, I don't know what he did last year in terms of points. Like he was good.
It wasn't like off the wall fantastic, but it was still solid. He kind of picked it up at the end of the year a little bit.
And then it was the playoffs where he made a real difference.
Yeah, like always. Got eight points in 8 games.
It's not bad.
He was hurt for a little bit. One player I really wanted to talk about is so everyone kind of thought last year was an outlier, 57 goal season, but nobody really thought he's going to do that again, right? But Reinhardt,
Didn't believe in him myself.
I didn't either. I didn't think I think he was a good. I think he'd still be a good player, maybe like a 30-40 goal guy.
Yeah.
I didn't think he'd be scoring 50 again. Well, he's on pace for it. He's got 10 and 13.
That's pretty good.
That's
pretty good.
pretty unreal. And he's proven us all wrong.
You know,
Even without Barkov and Kachuk, for a good chunk, he was getting it done. He carried them for a little bit.
Happy about that.
So good for him. He's on a heater. And Florida is not slowing down anytime soon. 8-1-1 in their last 10, which is the first 10 pretty much. 13. They played 13, so.
In their first couple games were a little rough, but
yep, a couple injuries there, and I believe they're first in the Atlantic. Yep.
Congratulations, Florida, again.
Like always. Same old Florida. Do we want to go to your boys out west, or do we want to stay in the east?
Let's go Central, because
Central.
Trotz sent a bit of a message.
Yep, in Nashville.
See that?
Yeah, he's saying if things don't turn around quick, we're going to the rebuild.
We just got Marchessault, Stamkos, and who was the other big name?
Brady Shea.
And things could maybe be worse.
It'd be tough to be worse.
How, but they might be able to be. It's disaster. He sent the message. If you guys don't figure this out, I'm going for a rebuild.
Nashville's in last place.
That is brutal.
Tied for last with Philly right now.
They're
worse than San Jose. They're worse than Chicago.
If you were to tell me Nashville was going to be behind San Jose, like,
yep, they've been dreadful. And I didn't think they'd be this bad, but I told people we need to really relax. I told you this. You need to relax on the Nashville train. That's a lot of guys over the age of 30.
I think I had them in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, I think so too. Now obviously did not think it would be this bad, but no. I think O'Reilly was in the media the other night saying like I need to be way better.
Yeah.
And kind of just calling the whole team out. Like we need to pick it up here. This isn't good enough.
San
Jose. I got a note on San Jose here.
San Jose is 18.
San Jose has won 4 out of 5.
Granlund's continuing to go.
San Jose. Will Smith got his first goal. Celebrini's back.
Celebrini's now back.
Yeah. The boys are buzzing. Granlund, 14 points. Good for him. Toffoli's got 11 points.
Toffoli. I traded Toffoli. I thought he was about to break on the ice. I thought he was going to start to go downhill. He's having like a career.
Why? San Jose has no one else. He's going to get all the ice time.
Bizarre. Phenomenal in Calgary. Traded to New Jersey. Was okay in New Jersey, but like wasn't looking stellar. He was still good, but he wasn't stellar. And then you're coming to San Jose. I think I underestimate how good, like, pretty average or okay players can look if they're surrounded with nothing. It's like Domi in Chicago.
Okay.
So, I mean, good job. I'm okay being proven wrong if San
Yeah.
Jose is okay this year.
We'll stay with the negative here. We're talking about Nashville. We were hyping up
They're
Montreal.
losing tonight.
Who are they playing? Florida. Yeah. You were kind of hyping these guys up at the beginning of the year. I was saying that I thought they would be better, but I didn't think they would be unbelievable. But
Last in the league is,
Montreal's been really bad. Like
and I wanted
really
them to
bad.
be good. I don't know if it's just because I like Caulfield and Suzuki, but I wanted them to be good.
Caulfield's been buzzing.
He's,
Caulfield's one
yeah,
of the hottest goal scorers in the
he's
NHL.
kind of the only redeeming factor right
Caulfield's got 10 goals.
now.
But it's not the fact that they've been this bad because they've been bad for a while,
Yeah,
but they're getting blown out, and I think it's an effort thing
and
from what I hear. I
I
haven't watched much
I
of
thought they were
Montreal.
gonna be okay this year. I thought they'd make strides.
I thought they would be better.
Your
I
goal scores are starting to mature.
It's the compete level. I'm hearing they're like if you look at advanced stats, they're getting played off the park like really badly, is what I'm hearing. So it's not looking too good in Quebec. Like 53 goals against. It's got to be close. At least
53 goals
53 goals
against.
against.
In how many games? 13?
13.
Holy smokes.
That is not the highest.
Who's worse?
Pittsburgh is worse, which isn't surprising.
Yeah,
And it's only by one goal.
that's its own
It's only one
situation.
goal. So, but yeah, and at least Pittsburgh can score. Montreal is not scoring
If
any
it's not Caulfield,
as
it's
much,
not
right?
happening.
Yeah, it's
I know Lane Hudson's still doing some crazy stuff, but like,
he had a little bit of a slow kind of middle game out of their 13 games, kind of the middle stretch out of the 13. He was pretty slow, but he's kind of picked it up a little
yeah,
bit
he
since
picked
then.
up.
He hasn't scored yet, but he's got 7 assists. And I mean, he is a rookie on a
And he's a
bad team.
defenseman. Like,
Yeah,
he's a skating
yeah.
defenseman.
So yeah, I was just trying to get all the negative stuff out of the way a little bit.
Nashville, do something.
Nashville,
Don't make me look this
Montreal,
much of a jerk.
San Jose's positive.
Okay. I
San
mean,
Jose's
yeah,
positive.
again, like,
Good for them.
if they prove everyone wrong and they're like, okay,
Yeah,
great.
I'm not sure they want to be okay. I'm pretty sure they want to
They
suck,
want
but
some picks.
they want more picks. But
Give
you know,
Silverini some.
yeah. Where do we go next here? Do we want to go to your best friend,
Which one's that?
your favorite team?
They're not my favorite.
They're your favorite team.
They're not my favorite.
Uh, the Edmonton Oilers.
Edmonton. Draisaitl.
Are the Oilers better without McDavid? Because he came back last night and they lost. And Draisaitl,
That doesn't.
while McDavid was gone,
Unreal.
was unbelievable. Now we spoke about this
Yeah.
a couple years ago. When McDavid was out long term, Draisaitl had a big year that year,
And it was kind of reborn.
and it's kind of reborn. We talked about whenever Crosby was out, Malkin always seems to step up. It's kind of always when you have two superstars.
Goal, 2 assists. 2 goal, 1 assist.
Yeah, Draisaitl was all over the place, and Edmonton was winning games too. When was McDavid hurt? Against Columbus? I believe it was Columbus. They lost 6-1 to Columbus the night he got hurt. Then they beat Nashville 5-1. They beat Calgary 4-2. And then they lost to New Jersey 3-0. So not great there. But then McDavid came back and they lost to Vegas.
2 solid games. And they
So,
look good.
yep. Granted, Nashville and Calgary aren't exactly.
Calgary's a test. Calgary's still a test.
Calgary's been bad recently. They've been bad. Battle of Alberta a little bit, but they've been bad. They played New Jersey and Vegas and got shelled. So,
Okay, tough teams.
well, that's my
Tough
point.
teams.
When they play good teams, and it's a struggle.
They're doing their best.
And they were up against Vegas, and they kind of threw that away. Yeah.
Do you think McDavid should go on a skiing trip this winter?
Yeah. Why not?
Take a little
Yeah.
LTIR.
You know what I see? You know what I see? It seems like so McDavid. Same thing with Matthews. Everyone always kind of hypes up the stuff when Matthews is out. The Leafs have a great record when Matthews is out. I think it's kind of because the rest of the guys realize, well, our main stud is out. So we all have to
We all
step up,
step up.
which is what you should be thinking every night, whether the guy's in the lineup or not. You should be under the impression I don't want to relax just because this guy's playing. Should be playing that way every night.
Yeah.
But it's kind of somebody's got to take over this role for this stud guy that's out tonight.
Bit of a crutch. You remove the crutch.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of forced to show up.
Yeah, that's kind of my thinking there.
Not a bad. Not a bad kind of form analysis.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's all I had on Edmonton. Are they better without McDavid? What do you think? You're the Edmonton fan.
small sample size. I mean, Draisaitl is certainly
Draisaitl's better without McDavid.
certainly better than
Yeah.
McDavid. But is Edmonton overall still no? Like it's still
A little bit of sarcasm there.
yeah. I just don't hurt my boy.
Yeah.
Don't hurt my boy McDavid.
Okay.
He's
We know we're aware. We're aware how fast he is. We'll go back to the East.
okay.
We were kind of saying Ovi wasn't going to break the record this year. Well, maybe he might.
I thought he was gonna come in slow and maybe squeak some.
He was coming
during
in
the
slow, but
middle of the season, but he's picked it up.
he's on pace for 55 goals right now, and he's 39 years old.
He's gray. He's fully gray,
He's going to be 40 next year.
and he's scoring. How many has he scored so far?
Let's see here.
On pace for 55.
He's on pace for 55. He's got 8 goals in 12 games.
Alexander Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Has been scoring the same goal for 15 years.
He's still getting it done.
Congratulations.
They put the power play time of ice. I'm assuming that's an average. Oh no, that's got to be total. Total power play time for all of the other like the whole roster here.
Okay.
And it's like McMichael's just at like 2 minutes.
Another guy having a great season, by the way.
Oh, this got to be average. This has to be average time on ice. Yeah, because time on ice here. So Ovi averages 18 minutes a night. 5.5 of those minutes are on the power play. Well, no one else in the team is over 3.5 minutes of power play time on ice.
Washington's on a bit of a tear.
Strome is proving it again this year. He had a good year last year. He's saying it again. It wasn't a fluke. And McMichael's been really good. Young guy coming out of the gate here.
Logan Thompson continuing the winning streak.
Yep, he's been solid. He's 6-0.
I was gonna say he's 5 or 6 in the
6-0. There's your. Is he making Team Canada?
He's making an argument for it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Washington's playing unreal, but like you can't argue with that result.
Alexi Protas, however you want to pronounce it. He's been on a heater. Don't know where the hell he came from, but he's buzzing.
No idea who
Yeah, never heard of him, but he's buzzing. Yeah.
Okay.
Thompson's 6-0. Good for him.
Dubois done anything? He had that one game where he was a goal and 2 assists.
Dubois' goal and 6 assists. Clown. What a loser.
PLD, come on, man.
Washington 8-2 in their last 10. They're tied with Carolina and New Jersey for first in the Metro.
Tied for first, and they're doing that. I didn't realize. I mean,
Yep.
good for them.
Good for them.
That's competitive. That's good hockey. I hope Ovi does it.
You think he'll do it now?
I mean, I still think this is kind of a little bit.
How many does he need? 30 something?
I thought it was like 39. It was at least.
Like now, I mean, how many does he need now?
I don't know.
Let's see here.
I don't know. I just think it's gonna be hot. Like if he gets hurt, he is older, so it's like I could see more injury prone, obviously. And to keep this up, I don't know. I know they're playing well, but this seems a little bit high pace.
He's at 860, so he needs 35 to pass it.
I mean, like when Yager was kind of 39, 40, what was his pace
It
like?
wasn't this good.
It's like this just seems like it has to come back down to earth a little bit. If you're 39 pacing towards 55,
He's not going to get 55.
like that's just
He's not going to
nuts.
get 55,
That's
but
what
he's got
like
8 already, and he needs 35, and you still have like 70 games left.
ride the hot like stick
I think
while it's
that's
going.
half a goal a game. Doable. It's very
Okay.
doable.
I hope it happens.
What do you think? Would you rather he broke it this year, or would you
Um,
rather wait till next year?
I just hope he breaks it. Like, yeah, so this year would be fantastic. I'd love it if he broke it
Yeah.
this year. Because then he can retire if he wants. As opposed to, like,
I
oh,
don't think he will, whether he breaks it or not. I don't think he'll retire. I think he'll keep playing.
well, why would he if he's scoring this?
Yeah, I
this
think
snap?
I think he loves the game.
Yeah,
I think he loves it.
he's a gamer.
Yeah,
He's going to be a Yager. He's going to play till he's like 55.
yeah. Yager plays. I think Yager's retiring.
He plays. Is he? Because he was playing for
Yager
his own team,
plays.
was he
He
not?
plays for his hometown team. I think he's part owner,
Yeah.
and I think he's retiring at the end of the season.
Oh,
Yeah. Now he's said that before, so take it with a grain of salt here.
then it'll get to the next season. I'll
Yeah,
miss it.
we'll see what happens there. Yeah. So Ovi, we could see a.
I hope it
That's
happens.
a big record to break. Not too many Gretzky records get broken, so
No.
and there's a lot of them. But
I mean, and my dad asked me this. He said, if he does break it, does that make him the greatest goal scorer of all time?
he already is.
I think it's
He already is.
unbelievable
Yeah.
what he's done.
Yeah, he's already
In
the
terms
best
of
goal
a
scorer.
pure goal scorer
Pure goal scorer.
in
Yeah.
today's hockey, I think
100%.
that's well earned.
Yep. We mentioned New Jersey. They're tied with New Jersey. Nico Hischier. Where the hell is that goal scoring coming from? He's kind of had the reputation. He's a good leader, good two-way player. I think he's got 10 goals. He's popping off. He's tied for first in the league in goals. 10 goals.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
New Jersey doing well.
New Jersey, they've kind of slowed a little bit. Keith called out Markstrom last week,
Oh,
kind of saying we need you to be better.
bit of a cold reception.
Yeah.
In was it Calgary?
Yeah, Calgary.
A
Yeah,
little bit of a cold
yeah.
reception.
But yeah, I like Hischier a lot.
I mean, anyone scoring 10 goals, and he
Yeah.
was quiet last year. I think he's been.
He's never gonna pop off the page, right? But he had one of his better offensive years last year. He just kind of doesn't have that reputation, so people don't think of him that way. So, but good for him. I've always liked him. He was kind of when he first came in, people kind of deemed him a disappointment because he was a first overall pick, but it was kind of a weaker draft, and he's just not that type of player, right? So,
Yeah.
67 points in 71 games last year,
It's bad.
and 80 points in 81 games the year before that.
It's a little bit of a decline, but still not bad.
Well, it's just pretty much the same.
80 versus 67?
Yeah, but he played 10 less games,
Oh, yeah. Great fair.
so it's pretty much the same. Yeah. That's all I got really on Hischier. I just wanted to
Anything
shout
else
him
from
out a little
Jersey?
bit.
Cotter has come back down to earth.
Yeah, yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're playing well.
We're kind of throwing it around to some players today instead of teams, more player centric today.
Yeah.
We kind of touched on Minnesota a little bit with the Leafs. Kaprizov is an absolute animal right now.
Yeah. Another guy. And that's what I mean. Like, when the Leafs lost, it's like you put up a battle against a decent team. Like, they're a good team.
Is Kaprizov the MVP favorite right now?
So far,
I think so.
I don't think anyone else is even close to him.
I think so. He has been
nasty.
Unbelievable.
The only word is nasty.
He has been unbelievable.
Minnesota's good.
And Minnesota's been really
Minnesota's good team.
Yeah. They look good. Kaprizov, 21 points in 12 games.
That's nuts.
You can't fault him there. Yeah, and just in time, he can sign a new deal July 1st.
They're gonna have to pay the shit out of him.
Here comes I'm
He's proving it.
at least 13.
It's a contract year. All these guys
Yeah.
tend to step up really
Yeah.
nicely in contract year. They know what's on the line.
So yeah, Minnesota looks good. We kind of touched on them a little bit in the past couple weeks
Jump back. Jack Hughes has been kind of cold, has he not?
for New
For New
Jersey.
Jersey, just to jump back. So I wasn't done. That was the only other point I want to make on New Jersey.
Yeah, 12 points in 15 games. Not
It's not terrible,
horrible, but he doesn't jumped off the page.
but
No.
yeah,
But New Jersey's had the scoring's been spread around. He shares 16 points, Brought 15 points, Meyer 13,
Meyer.
Hughes
What
12.
a comeback year from
Yeah,
Meyer. Thank God.
I told you at the beginning of the year, Meyer's gonna have a good year. You should listen
Sorry.
to me more often, eh?
Well, I don't know about that. Just want to jump back to that because that was the only other thing.
Yeah, sorry, I cut you off.
It's okay.
I probably do that a lot.
You're a dump truck.
Yeah.
You just keep going.
Yeah.
You got so much in you. You need to get it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you? I'm thinking Kaprizov might get 14.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Um,
That's still a big ask.
that's a big ask, but Minnesota could afford
14. That's
it. And
they don't have to pay a whole lot of other people coming up. I don't think.
exactly, they've already locked down.
14.
Who else do they have to pay?
Uh,
Faber. They've locked out. They locked down Faber. He already signed the extension after his rookie year.
Boldy.
Boldy, I believe, signed a bridge.
Right. I think we mentioned this last time.
So
Okay.
yeah, I think they'll be okay. And
Give him the 14.
the Parisi and Suter deals are coming off the books, I think, soon. The buyouts. Rossi, I can't imagine he makes two. Rossi makes a whole heck of a lot.
3 mil.
Let's see here.
Also, we've been recording in some different areas. Let us know which audio
Sounds the best.
prefer.
Rossi makes less than $1 million right now, but he's
Does he really?
Yeah, he's an RFA this summer, so he'll get a
He's gonna
raise.
get more than that.
He'll get a raise. But if he has to go through arbitration, they're gonna tell him how shit he is, just to put the money down.
Don't do
What
that.
a brutal process
Don't
that
do
is.
that.
What a brutal process. Eriksson Ek makes 5.25.
Okay.
That's not terrible. Boldy makes 7, but he's still got like 5 years left.
Okay.
And then Faber's on the last year of his entry level. He'll make I think it's 8, 7 or 8, starting next year. But you got Fleury's 2.5 is off the books next year, and the 2 buyouts are off the books, I think, too. That's the biggest ones there, is the buyouts.
Okay.
So we'll see. I saw this the other day. This is a wild ass stat.
Okay.
So Quinn Hughes got his 300th assist. I don't know if it was last night.
Oh yes.
Sometime this week.
Yes.
It's the 3rd fastest defenseman to 300 assists.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
He's that good.
Only Bobby Orr and Brian Leetch were faster.
I didn't realize he was the captain now too.
Yep.
What an impact he's having.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Good for him. I did not realize
No.
that the points
So he
were
was on
that
pace
high,
for that?
right? Like I knew he had a really good year last year, but before last year he hadn't popped off like that.
No.
He had some decent offensive years, but not like that.
How many assists did he get last year?
He had like 90 points, and I'm not even sure he got 10 goals. So it would have been like
it was
almost
like
80.
83.
Yeah, it was something stupid high. We need a stats guy to check this stuff for us, so we can pick up the pace.
Gonna have to edit
But
out the silence.
we don't have the budget to pay people, so
No, not quite
you got to be a little patient.
We'll see if we can get monetized.
Yeah, if we don't swear too much, apparently.
Yeah, we had this flagged to us by our significant others.
Quinn Hughes had 75 assists last year. So there you go.
So good. That is so good.
Yeah, 92 points. Quinn Hughes is born in Orlando, Florida.
Where's the rest of them from?
I don't know. But that's just a weird.
Just because it was Orlando?
Just because it was Orlando.
You don't think of Florida as hockey, right?
No. Let's
I
see where
mean, outside of the team.
Luke is from Manchester, New Hampshire, and Jack is from Orlando, Florida.
Interesting.
Strange. Yeah, I just wanted to shout out Hughes to his
Shouts out.
crazy. That's wild. That's like just like Gretzky. Like I'm sure there's a ton of defenseman records that will never get touched from Bobby Orr.
Yeah. Long-standing stuff.
Yeah, that's just like. But if you
for the
come
time.
close, it's gonna be you're pretty
An
unbelievable.
icon.
Yeah. All right. We were pretty positive for the most part so far. We got to get into a little bit of negative stuff.
Okay.
Actually, let's one more positive thing. One more positive thing.
Okay.
We got more positive stuff down the road, but one more positive thing for now. The Avs. Lehkonen is back. Nichushkin is will be back on his first day of eligibility. Back from the suspension, he'll play right away. Makar had an injury scare the other night, but he's playing tonight, so they're good to go there.
Thank goodness.
Things are looking up for Colorado because it's been a tough first month, and it's not that even they've even been that horrible.
No,
They're
but
a game under 500.
to have those pieces back is just
That's like literally 6 of their first 9 forwards were injured.
that's tough.
That's like how do you win?
That's asking a lot of the rest of the
Yeah,
team in terms of
yeah.
step up.
And they were so lucky that uh Makar, McKinnon, and Rantanen weren't hurt
Yeah.
because those are the 3 guys that you would want to shoulder the load, right?
If Makar was hurt, the team would be in shape.
It would be tough. It would be tough. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. See if they can turn it around quickly.
Okay.
There's still no timetable on Landeskog.
No.
I haven't really heard anything there. They had a tough week last week. They lost to Chicago, Tampa, and Nashville all by the same scoreline, 5-2.
And they're playing tonight.
They beat Seattle on Tuesday. They're in Winnipeg tonight. That's a tough one.
Georgiev and that. That's gonna be a tough game.
We'll see. But yeah, so things are looking up in Colorado a little bit. Okay.
Negatives.
Some negative stuff. So Michkov has 10 points already. He got scratched
He got
tonight.
scratched tonight. What the fuck are they doing? Sorry, I know
Torts.
we're cursing less. What are you doing?
Torts.
I
Outside of
I
Connect,
didn't understand that.
after Konechny, Michkov has the second. He has the most points on the team after Konechny.
What are they doing?
It's Torts. And Michkov is Russian, so he probably did something. He doesn't care. Just does
He's
not
late
give
to
2
practice.
shits. Yeah. So you know,
Oh, that's tough.
I mean, Philly's been tough.
Philly's horrible.
Philly's been bad.
And they have like some okay guys, but this is real bad.
Yeah, this is. I don't know. Did they think Torts is the guy? I don't know. We'll see. It's just crazy. It's a guy.
To
He's a
me,
rookie. You're doing that well, and you get scratched.
something must have
Yeah,
happened behind the scenes.
yeah, it's got to be. Or it could be he was just being lazy and it's Torts, right?
Attitude adjustment.
Yeah. A couple injury notes here. The Islanders are kind of becoming the new Avs. They got a ton of injuries right now. I know Duclair was already out. Barzal is out 4 to 6 weeks. Pelech, I'm not sure what the timeline is on that, but it sounds like he's out a while. Mike Riley had a scary injury the other night. He was out cold on the ice. He got hit in the Ranger. I think it was a Ranger game. He got hit, and it was a clean hit, but I think he hit his head off the ice when he landed, and he was out. It didn't look good. They did say he was okay. I don't know the timeline on it.
Okay.
I don't think it's like long term. It might be a week to week thing.
Not to jump around too much. Did you see the guy get hit in the neck with the puck on the bench the other night? Have to get stretchered off. St. Louis.
Holloway, yeah, I was getting to that.
Oh,
That was my next one.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
injury talk stuff.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure how long Pelech is out for. Let's see. Barzal is on LTIR and Pelech is on IR. So Pelech will have to miss, what is it, 4 games?
Not sure.
Yeah, he took a puck to the face. So he'll be out for a little while. Probably not as long as Barzal. Barzal, I don't. There's no. Just his upper body doesn't say anything else. So says Mike Riley is day to day. So that's pretty. You're pretty lucky there. After what we saw there. Yeah, and then you touched on it. St. Louis. They got a little unlucky. The two RFA guys from Edmonton have been buzzing. But Holloway had that scary
That's
scene
really
the other
scary.
night, but he's playing tonight, I think.
Is he really?
I think he is.
It made me real worried that they
Yeah.
stretchered him off. It
Yeah.
seemed like it's like hit something.
Yeah. But yeah, he's playing tonight. But unfortunately for Broberg wasn't that lucky. It sounds like Broberg's going to be out a while, 4 to 6 weeks for Broberg,
That's scary.
which is tough. Leg injury, lower body, they'll say. It wasn't. It didn't look good. It
No.
was like in the Leafs game. He had a collision with Marner. Marner hit someone, shockingly enough, and then it was kind of just the way they both kind of fell, and his knee, it didn't look good. Did you? I don't know if you saw it or
I don't
not.
know if I saw this.
Yeah, it was a tough look. If you go watch it, it did not look good.
Okay.
Like that is like it could be a bad knee thing, like a ligament or something. It didn't look good. It's almost like a QB when his leg gets sat on by a big boy in one of those situations. Except it was not a big boy; it was Marner.
Okay.
But yeah, not what you want to see. So tough injury luck for those two teams. Uh, my last note.
Huh?
I don't know if you have anything else for injuries. Any
No.
other thoughts with Holloway?
I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah, good to go tonight. So the last thing I want to touch on for NHL stuff is goalies. We've been talking about all the specific players today. There's been a lot of under the radar goalies who have been good this year.
Like who?
Got a bunch to shout out here. So there's your usual suspects. Shesterkin and Hellebuck have been very good. Those are probably your front runners for the Vezina right now. I'd say Shesterkin's the front runner,
Yeah.
and Hellebuck follows closely behind. Some other big names like Ottinger's been solid. There's a
Yeah.
couple big names that have still been so. Sorokin's looked better.
Better.
He's looked better.
Couldn't look much worse after
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah. There you go. Jack Roslovic, 2-goal game.
Fucking streamer.
But some of the under the radar guys, the number one for me is Dostal in Anaheim. He has been
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Oh my gosh. It's so cool to
Unbelievable.
see.
Unbelievable how good he's been.
Some ray of hope in Anaheim.
Yeah, in Anaheim. And they've still been brutal, but Joey Daccord was really good in Seattle last year. He's been solid to start the year here. It doesn't sound like he's given up the job. He's still got the job over Grubauer. Gustafsson in Minnesota has been really good to start the year
Yes.
because everyone was kind of saying he could maybe lose the job. Wallsted's coming up. Fleury's retiring, but it's his last hurrah. Maybe Fleury wins the job or something this year. But Gustafsson has held on to the net. Obviously, we've talked about Stolars a lot. He's in the mix. Lankinen has been really good in Vancouver.
Yeah, out of coming.
He stole the job from Shelovs
Well done.
while Demko's still out. Talbot has been good in Detroit.
Yeah, yes.
Talbot's been solid in Detroit. And Forsberg in Ottawa has been very good as well.
Again, another kind of ray of hope.
It's kind of out of nowhere. And Forsberg kind of ties into Ullmark has been brutal.
Yeah.
And so has Swayman. And that was the best pairing in the NHL for the past couple of years. They both look tough.
Yeah.
New surroundings for Ullmark.
Wasn't expecting Ullmark to be this bad.
Yeah, no preseason for Swayman. Now, granted, Ullmark, you have to look at the whole team. Okay.
The whole
Ottawa
defensively.
Ottawa's not good defensively. And I said this in our season preview show. Yes, Ullmark will improve their goaltending. He's better than what they have had, but their goaltending has looked that bad the past 4 or 5 seasons, not because of the goalies themselves. It's because of the way they play.
Yeah.
They are brutal defensively.
Yeah.
They are not good defensively whatsoever. You need to change that. They're scoring goals.
Scoring a shit ton
They're
of goals.
scoring enough goals.
How many points does
But
Brady have?
But they're not keeping the puck out of the net. It's
kind of
tough
the big
in
part to
Ottawa.
winning.
Forsberg is playing way above expected. I can't imagine that if Ottawa plays like that, Forsberg's not going to keep that up the whole season, right?
Yeah.
It's just not possible. Olmark had an injury, so he kind of set him off a little bit. We talked about Boston already with Swayman. Swayman struggled.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to touch on that with the Forsberg stuff. We talked about Lankinen
Yeah.
taking over in Vancouver. Demko started practicing this week. So we'll
be
see.
Big when he returns.
So we'll see what happens there. What the fuck does Vancouver do? Because if Lankinen is playing that well, are they sticking 3 goalies?
You stick with You stick with
Is Shelov's going down? Is Lankinen going down? What are we doing?
I think Shelov goes down.
You just signed him.
Well, you have Demko, and you stick with the goalie who's hot for your main game.
But I just mean sending him down. Like I'm not saying he'll play, but
it just sucks.
Yeah,
we had to send.
He might. I don't know. I don't know what his deal is. Like if he's not two-way, he'd have to go through waivers. I'd imagine somebody would pick him up.
I don't know what you do then, but you need Demko back in. Like that's it.
Yeah, obviously Demko would be in, but Lankinen has been so good. It's a question mark what they do, right?
So I mean, give Demko as much time. It means you don't have pressure.
Yeah, you don't have to hurry up.
Problems outside of goaltending that you need to address before you start. Kind of being like Demko's the final piece of the puzzle.
I mean, they're both Lankinen and Shelovs are under $1 million. So
maybe you do ride 3.
You could ride 3 for a bit, right? You probably could. How much cap space do they have? They have just over $1 million.
So maybe ride 3.
Oh, no, I don't think they can.
Or wait, how much is Demko in for?
Demko makes 5. Oh no, Demko's not LTIR. He's just IR, so he's still on the books.
He's still on the books.
Yeah, he's still on the books.
So ride 3.
You ride 3. Yeah, I imagine, but I don't know what the timeline looks like. He was practicing this week. Just wanted to throw that out there.
It's good to see.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good to see for Vancouver. I like to see Vancouver do well. That's Just wanted to touch on some goalies, some shoutouts. We've obviously talked Stolars at length. Talbot has been surprising for the Wings. Lyon's been solid as well, but didn't expect Husso to just fall off the face of the earth and Talbot and Lyon to just completely take over in Detroit. But that's what's happened, right?
Yeah, Talbot's been good.
Yeah. Detroit has not been letting in a lot of goals. Detroit is in a playoff spot right now. Detroit has the least amount of goals against in the entire Atlantic right now.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I mean, they're a good defensive team.
Yeah, they don't score, but they keep the puck out.
Larkin's got to kind of do that work for them.
Yeah, they don't. I don't know. There's still a few other teams outside of the Atlantic that are worse than them, but the Ducks, 36 goals against, that's it.
That's pretty good.
Only Vancouver has less in the Pacific.
That surprises me.
And that's how bad the Ducks' offense is.
Wow.
They only have 4 wins, and they have the second best defensive record in the Pacific.
They have
so that tells you what you need to know. 25 goals, 4, which is the worst by a long shot in the NHL. So
still tough news.
We mentioned Trevor Zegras at the beginning of the season. We were right because it has been.
And I don't know. You wonder what you do with him. Do you get rid of him?
Trade him.
You get rid of him?
He's not good.
See if he can pick it up somewhere else?
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Just the silver lining is Dostal. They have a goalie for the future. And then I'd imagine Gibson is done in Anaheim. When he does come back. He's out right now.
Yeah, he's out. He's under... Is he an RFA?
Gibson?
Yeah.
No. He's been in the league a long time. I don't know how many years he has left. He might be free agent now. Coming this next season.
Okay.
So, no, he's still got 2 years left after this year. So that's tough. 6.4.
Let him go be a backup somewhere.
It could be a buyout situation, honestly.
He could be a backup somewhere for two. How much?
So I'm not saying he can't do the job. Just saying at this point, at his age, Dostal's the goalie of the future.
You're gonna give him all the time.
You're gonna give him the time, right?
Yeah.
Do you really want to pay your backup goalie $6.4 million?
Is that what he's at?
Yeah.
Ooh, no, you don't.
Right? So
Shit.
they have a lot of guys on rookie deals still, so they can afford it. But at some point, they're not going to be on rookie deals anymore. Now, the way things are going, they don't have to pay these guys that much because they aren't really popping off too much. But yeah. Anyway, we don't want to get too negative. We're just trying to hype up Dosta a little bit. That's all I got for NHL. Anything else for you?
No, that's most of it, I think.
So we'll just touch on this real quick. They passed the ruling today. The NCAA passed the ruling today. CHL players will now, starting August 1st, CHL players will now be allowed to play NCAA. The previous rule was if you even went to training camp, if you even went to one practice, you were not allowed to play in the NCAA. But now the rule has changed, and which changes
So
the landscape.
You were forcing these players to drop out of college, essentially.
Well, no, because the OHL you start younger, right? Because the NCAA you have to graduate
16.
high school. You don't start till you're 18.
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas in the O you get drafted at like 15, 16.
So are we gonna see more of these like 25, 21-year-olds kind of enter the league then if they're playing college?
Well, yeah, you've been kind of seeing it more so in the past 5, 6 years that college has kind of been the route.
Knies with Michigan.
Minnesota. Nige was at Minnesota.
Was he in Minnesota?
Yeah, Nige was at Minnesota. Cooley at Minnesota. Tons of Michigan guys like Owen Power, Adam Fantilli. You got your BU, your BC guys.
Okay.
Celebrini.
So this
Guys like
ruling is
that.
saying those guys can.
So it's pretty much saying you can get drafted to the CHL at 16
Okay.
and play in the CHL, and then when you turn 18, sorry, when you turn 18, you're eligible to go to school. You can go to school
Seems like a
in the
positive.
U.S. Yeah.
Seems like a positive.
Yep. I didn't realize this. So the reason they weren't allowed before, I was reading up on it a little bit. The reason they weren't allowed before was because they were deemed professional because they gave them like $600 a month or some shit. Like that's gonna like
Not
move
even
the needle.
Not even groceries.
Yeah, it's living expenses. Like, come on, man. It's completely ridiculous. So yeah, we'll see how that changes the landscape.
Yeah.
I've heard some things out there because this kind of the USHL will be in big trouble, which is kind of the feeder league for the NCAA for those who are not familiar.
Okay.
It's kind of like what you play in before you go to the NCAA when you're not old enough.
Okay.
But because of this ruling, it would kind of take a lot of talent away from the USHL.
So
But I'm not saying they're going to do this, but people mention this, is that because the Memorial Cup is always the champions from all three CHL leagues and the host, maybe they get rid of the host team and have the USHL join that, where the USHL champion plays the WHL, OHL, and QMJHL champion.
that'd be cool.
That'd be cool. I think it's a good idea. And then that way you don't have any team that's in there that doesn't deserve to be in there because they're the host, right?
Yeah.
And it's a host place, and if you want to go to the game, you can go to the game.
They do that in the Olympics where like the host nation kind of just gets in just cuz. I don't know.
Well, depends on the. You mean like World Cup? Is that what you mean?
No, like Olympics. If you're like hosting, you get like way more spots available to you.
Oh, do you? Yeah, I don't know. I'd imagine that's how it works. That's like the World Cup in soccer. If you're the host country, you don't have
That's
to
the only way
qualify.
Canada's
You're
making
automatically in. What's that?
It's the only way Canada's gonna make any World Cup.
Well, they made the last
No,
one.
they were in the last one.
Calm down. Take it easy. We're better than the U.S. Yeah, that's all I had. So do we want to go to outside notes or do we want to do Team Sweden now?
Honestly, I've been itching for Team Sweden.
All right, let's do Team Sweden.
Um,
Team Sweden reveal.
Not many surprises, I think, but
Near the top end of the lineup, but there's some stuff on the bottom end that I want to touch on
I think
a little bit.
pairings will be fun.
Yeah. So where do we want to start? We want to start in net? We want to start on D? We want to start up front? What do we want to start?
Forwards. Let's just
Forwards. You got lines this
top one.
time?
I do have lines this time.
All right.
Um,
Line one.
left wing,
Just the whole line. Line one.
Forsberg, Nylander, Pedersen.
Load it up.
Load it up. Let the guys play.
So my first line is so Sweden has some center depth.
They do.
So I've moved Pedersen to the wing
Okay.
because he has struggled a lot. And if you're
Takes
going to be the
pressure off
first
him.
line center in an international tournament, you're going to have some big matchups against Canada and the U.S. and Finland too.
Yeah.
You're going up against Barkov. He's a beast.
Yeah.
I put Lindholm at center. So Lindholm will
On
be
line one?
on line one
Interesting.
because he'll be defensively responsible and it kind of frees up Pedersen a little bit. And then with Nylander.
Okay. I think Pedersen Nylander is gonna be so fun to see.
That'd be cool.
See what they can put together.
Yeah. Line two.
Okay. Kempe, Raymond. I did Lindholm.
Okay. My second line is Zibanejad at center with Brott and Forsberg on the wings.
That's a good line. That is a solid line. Third line I did Zibanejad, Brott,
Third line, really.
yeah,
Hmm.
Nyquist.
My third line is Eriksson Ek at center with Kempe and Raymond on the wings.
Line four, Leo Carlson. And then I did Eriksson Ek and Eklund.
My fourth line is William Karlsson centers.
Whoa!
William Karlsson centers Leo Carlsson, and this is going to come as a big shock.
Okay.
But just because this guy would be the captain in a normal situation, Gabe Landeskog.
Landeskog. You were mentioning this a few days ago. Yeah. I mean, you know what? I kind of love it.
If he's healthy, obviously, if he's healthy.
Yeah.
And then you have a 13th forward?
I didn't do 13th
Okay.
forward.
Backlund's my 13th forward. You didn't mention William Karlsson, so I'd imagine you'd probably go with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Defense pairings.
Pairing one. Okay, no, before we start.
Okay.
No, let's name them first. Pairing one.
Victor fucking Hedman.
And?
Obviously.
And?
Larson,
really? Wow. My first pairing, I've loaded it up. I've gone Hedman and Ekholm.
You did Ekholm?
Yeah.
He's so big. That's a big one pairing.
Yeah. Frees up Hedman a little bit offensively, too.
Yeah, okay.
Pairing two.
Erik Karlsson. Rasmus Dahlin.
Oof. Anybody going to play defense when they're on the ice, or?
I was debating whether to put Karlsson with Hedman.
My second pairing is Forsling and Dahlin.
Yeah, okay.
Third pairing?
Ekholm and
Hampus Lindholm. My third pairing is Philip Broberg and Rasmus Andersson.
Really? Okay, I thought my hot take was gonna be Broberg, but yeah, Broberg.
Broberg is on my third pairing.
Yeah.
Here's my hot take.
Okay.
Erik Karlsson's my seventh defenseman.
You don't believe in him, eh? He just doesn't fit, or?
The only reason I even would put Erik Karlsson on this team is because he's already named in the first six, and I had to put him on my team.
So okay, so if he
I
wasn't
wouldn't
named
have him
already, you would have left him off?
I would have left him off.
Interesting.
I don't think you can afford
That much defensive
You
responsibility.
cannot afford to have a guy just coast around and do whatever the fuck he wants against Canada and the U.S. Because their fourth lines will eat you alive, let alone the first and second and third lines. Fucking McCarr will eat you alive from D. Now my thought is Sweden lacks does not have a lot of right-handed D. So Karlsson is right-handed. So that is one thing that's going for him.
Yeah.
I have Anderson, which I do think he's been very good in Calgary the past couple of years. He's a good shutdown guy. but the rest of the D are all left-handed. Larson, I believe Larson's right-handed. I think you have him on your first pairing. I didn't have him on the team, but I would highly consider OEL and Larson over Carlson.
OEL.
OEL or Larson over Carlson.
OEL's yeah. Okay.
I did forget to mention I do have a couple backups as well. So my backups on D are OEL and Larson,
Okay.
and then my backups up front are, I'd imagine the Landeskog one is more likely, um, because I imagine he probably won't be ready, but you never know. So I have Nyquist and Raquel. So I kind of gone
I think Nyquist is just too strong to leave out.
if it's a skill guy, Nyquist will go in. If it's kind of like a Landeskog type guy, it'll be Raquel will go in.
Yeah.
You really overrate Nashville guys way too much. Nyquist is not that good. Who did you not have on your team that I have on my team that Nyquist made the team over?
Um.
Landeskog, probably.
Yeah, because what the
But I have 13 guys. You only have 12.
No, I was gonna have. Um. I think I left out Forsling.
Forwards.
Oh, forwards.
Yeah. Oh, you
Um.
didn't put Forsling on your decor?
I don't think I put Forsling on my decor. I don't know.
You put Hampus Lindholm over Forsling
Uh, he did really well for me in fantasy like 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Hampus Lindholm has been complete dog shit for the past 2 years.
I think
You do know that Gustav Forsling was the best defenseman on the Stanley Cup champions last year, right?
I understand.
Just just putting it out there. You know, your D actually has to play D. I know you don't seem to think that.
Not as
Just
fun.
just toss him out there
I
against
want to see one timers.
the best teams in the world. Just get they're not gonna have the puck enough to be hitting one timers if their D are all playing forward.
Fuck yeah, they are.
Oh my god.
Goaltending. This is where I think there's the most hot take available.
I went back and forth between the two. I Go ahead. Name your three.
I'm gonna go Gustafson, Markstrom, and Forsberg.
Forsberg.
I'm not doing Allmark.
Wow.
I'm not doing it. I don't think with how he's playing,
Okay.
if you're making a
Here's
decision off of today,
here's what I'll say. Yes, you want to
and it's not gonna be Anderson either.
there's going to be a little bit of recency bias when these teams are picked, but what you have to take into account is it's November.
I
The
know.
tournament doesn't start until February.
I know.
You can't be going off of this guy's hot right now. He might not be hot in 2 weeks.
You've got Landeskog on your team.
Yeah, that's proves my point right there.
I'm just saying, okay, there has to be
Buddy,
some
you
sort
don't
of recent available
buddy, you have
data.
Hampus Lindholm on your team over Gustav Forsling. I don't want to hear it.
It's a good Bruin.
You think Gustav Nyquist is like the second coming? We can't even see he's like a third line guy on the worst team in the NHL right now.
He's trying.
No, he's trying.
They're gonna figure it out,
Yeah.
okay?
What is this, house league?
Who do you have?
So my goalies are Markstrom, Olmark, and Gustafson.
Yeah.
I wouldn't leave either one of Markstrom or Olmark out altogether.
Who's your 1, 2, 3?
That's my thing. So I went back and forth. Gustafson's the third one, obviously. I went back and forth a lot for Markstrom and Olmark because I kind of feel the same way about both guys. I think both guys are a little overrated.
Yeah.
I do prefer Markstrom a little bit. I find Markstrom a little more agile, a little less floppy. He's a little more calm and cool in the net. I find Olmark a little
And frankly, he's 34.
panicky sometimes.
He's 34. He's experienced.
Yep.
He's
So
been in tight situations.
Yeah, so I say Markstrom starts and Olmark's the backup. Because Markstrom is able to handle the big workload as well. Olmark has never really had to do that. He's been kind of the split with Swayman, right?
Yeah.
So not that it's a short tournament, so it's not like. But I feel like Sweden could possibly consider doing that as well.
Yeah.
Split time. Unfortunately,
Did you consider Erson at all?
Urson?
Yeah,
No.
Soderblom.
Forsberg's my fourth goalie.
Yeah.
Forsberg would be the guy if one of those three get hurt. For me.
Team Sweden's fun. Team Sweden is interesting and they're kind of fun.
Your team Sweden is.
I want to see what they can do together.
I think they're gonna lose every game 9-3. Jesus Christ.
Bunch of Swedes skating around, looking good, having a good time.
Oh my god. All right, well that's it for Team Sweden.
Next
So
week
the
is
Scandinavian teams are done.
Team USA.
We're going to Team USA next week.
This is actually probably going to take a couple days.
Team USA actually was harder for me than Team Canada.
Yeah.
There's a couple I'm honestly not even
And Team
done
Canada's
yet.
not shoo-ins, but
There's a few in Team Canada that are decisions, but there's a lot of decisions in the US.
lots. You've got so many.
And I know what you're going to do because you're just riding the hot hand. Whoever's good for the past 2 weeks could suck, and he hasn't done anything for 5 years.
Matthews isn't making the team.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good to me. I'd rather he didn't play. Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt playing for the US and save it for the Leafs
How can you say that?
because he's going to play for the enemy. You know how much it's going to hurt me at that tournament that I'm going for McDavid and I'm rooting against Matthews?
You won't be able to sleep.
No.
That's gonna be fun. That one's gonna be actually really fun.
Yep.
Goaltending is gonna be interesting there.
For the US or Canada?
Well, both. but
Both, yeah. For very different reasons on both ends of the
yeah,
spectrum.
Unfortunately for Canadians.
Yeah.
Any outside notes?
I have a couple.
Let's hear 'em.
So we talked about the guy on the Bears last week
Yes.
was taunting people, and it led into this is why hockey is the best.
It was one of the more iconic speeches I've ever heard.
Okay, let's take it easy. I'm not Herb Brooks or anything. So this guy, I don't even know his name. I didn't even look to find his name. So this guy, this taunting guy for the Bears, he apologized immediately after the game, after that happened.
Right.
He got told at practice during the week that he got demoted, and you want to know what his reaction was?
Well, he probably was like, oh, I understand, I get it, I acted out.
This isn't the NHL, pal.
Oh,
It's the NFL. But he walked out of practice
what an asshole.
after they told him he got demoted because he was being a dickhead during the game.
The egos that exist.
Unbelievable. This is why the NHL is king. You make a mistake, you own it, you eat the punishment. You're there for the team. It's about the team.
Some of these guys need to see Miracle on Ice.
Yep.
That's all they need. If they understand that
Yep.
film, you'd be humble.
And we're not American, we're Canadian. We don't want Americans to win.
Nope.
Maybe against Russians we do. But
yeah.
We don't want Americans to win.
No. But these guys, like I don't understand how that's you're a maturing adult. If you're past 21, that's your reaction.
Yeah, that's
ridiculous.
Yeah. So yeah, that says it all right there. And there's one other thing. I know it's all kind of ties into football.
Okay.
All my end of pod notes, but just I kind of tie them into hockey though.
It's okay.
Did you see Jason Kelsey on the weekend?
He got called a name.
You didn't get called anything. So on Saturday, so Jason Kelsey lives in Philadelphia, obviously. For those who don't know football, you probably know who Travis Kelsey is. He's dating Taylor Swift. His brother just retired this past offseason. Jason played for Philadelphia. He lives in Philadelphia. There's a college game on Saturday, Penn State and Ohio State, two of the best teams in the country. Jason went to the game.
He went, normal thing.
They're walking up. There's a bunch of fans everywhere. They all see Jason Kelsey. They all know who Jason Kelsey is. They're probably all
podcast.
They're probably all big Eagles fans. It's in Pennsylvania.
Yep. The trash city of.
Yeah. Yeah, the fandom there is interesting. And a bunch you can hear, but you if you watch the video, you can hear a bunch of people saying, "Hey man, like can I get a picture?" Blah blah blah. Hey Jason, hey Jason. This guy is standing directly behind him.
Idiot.
He he tells Jason, "How does it feel?" He pretty much calls Travis Kelsey a homophobic slur
Yeah.
because he's dating Taylor Swift. That's how the guy put it.
How does it feel that your brother is
Is
an
a
insult?
this because he's dating Taylor Swift. And Jason Kelsey turns around,
Whips around.
says something to the guy, rips, and the guy's taking a video. Kelsey rips the phone out of his hand and slams it into the dirt, and then stomps on it, picks it up, and walks away. Now I don't know about you, I love it.
I like it too. This is
I
awesome.
love it.
This is how you deal with a bully.
Yeah. You can't. People
Keyboard warriors who are used to
now
being able to talk some
exactly.
shit.
You can say whatever you want nowadays and hide behind your computer or hide behind this person's
Anonymous
gonna get in
profiles on
trouble.
social media.
Yeah. And this guy just thought this guy's a famous person. There's tons of people around. He's not gonna do
He won't
anything.
pick me out.
Yeah, exactly.
He can
And
do this in front of all these people. But no, this
people need to know the way you behave has repercussions.
let's get back to a civil society.
Well, it's the United States. If you paid attention to the election at all, that's never gonna happen.
I just don't understand what the logic is or what the thought process is of hurling these words. He's right there.
Yeah,
He's a little bit bigger than you,
yeah, just a
a
little.
little bit stronger than you,
Yeah,
and isn't going to take your shit.
exactly.
He can afford to be sued.
Yeah.
What did you think was going to happen?
And then but now they got all the police are investigating Jason
Yeah,
Kelsey.
go ahead.
Whatever. Jason Kelsey can afford the new cell phone. Toss him a new phone and let's get on with it.
The brand equity for the Kelsey brothers
Yeah.
standing up to a bully, that increase
Yeah.
will more than cover.
And literally everyone is on his side.
Because how could you not be?
Yeah.
You're literally just insulting this guy for no reason.
Yeah. He's standing up for his brother.
Good. I'm all for it.
Listen, man, you can't if you're gonna act like a loser, you can't just say whatever you want and have no consequences.
I hope
Back in the day, if you said something, you had to back it up.
I hope he reflects on this and understands how much of an asshole he was being.
Yeah, right.
I can only hope.
That's not gonna happen.
No, if you're saying these
Yeah.
things to begin with.
He's probably suing Jason Kelsey. What do you mean? I just got a score update.
Vlahovic had 5 goals.
No. Shesterkin just got chased by the Sabres tonight. Fifth goal on 5 goals on 12 shots. He had allowed 3 goals in a 2-minute span.
I got 6K playing in both games, so I'll take it.
Well, nothing to do
Phil
with him.
Forsberg assist. You know what?
I won't
Before we
take
end
it.
off, Bowen Byram having a little bit of momentum in Buffalo.
Yeah, I said it before the season. Buffalo's got a lot of good offensive defensemen. It's just keeping the puck out of the net the other way.
I sit Zaka and he gets a goal and an assist.
I'm catching. We're by the way, we're playing each other in fantasy this week. Usually every week that I play Jack, Matthews just goes absolutely bananas, but he's hurt this week.
Unfortunate.
Jack's
Chikrin's on my IR plus.
Jack's been up big all week, but I'm closing the gap a little bit tonight.
I'm gonna get 2 shutouts on 2 goalies though. Hopefully.
We'll see.
Into the second. At least I'll get a win. Hopefully we can get a shutout.
I'm coming for you.
Luke Hughes can do anything this season, by the way.
Well,
Anything. I know he's coming in off injury. He has 1 assist. He's played
he's like a third pairing guy. Like he's not.
7 games.
Exercise a little bit of patience.
Oh, I spoke too soon. Cotter, assist tonight. Well done.
Yeah. If I can be patient with Olin Zellweger, you can be patient with Luke Hughes because at least Luke Hughes plays for a competent NHL team.
Yeah. Well,
and Lane Hudson. Because when Montreal shits the bed, the guy is catastrophic. because he gets so much ice time as a rookie.
Oh. Verhage, 2 goals and assists tonight. Sat him. And sat Horvat in my other league too.
Yeah, the boys are buzzing a little bit. Aho, couple
Dang.
assists. Kachuk, goal and assist. Roslovic, 2 goals. Coming for you. All right, I'm sure people don't really care about our fantasy league.
Tell us if you do. Tell us if you don't. Tell us if you don't give a shit about fantasy.
Just so you know, Jack is in second last right now.
It's been a rough start.
Tough start.
Got
Jack,
the first win last week.
So this is the third year of this league. Jack has finished fourth place both seasons. And just for context, if you finish third place, you get your money back. Finish second, you get more. You get $100. If you win the regular season, you get $100. If you win the playoffs, you get the rest, which is like
First
$350.
season, I only lost 1 game. And then
That's got to be a huge exaggeration.
no, I'm not even kidding. First season, I lost like 1 game.
It was more than
or
one.
1 week, maybe 2.
It was
But
more than one.
it was like flawless, and then I still couldn't pull off
Yeah.
anything more than fourth.
So you are the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah. Can't do it in the playoffs.
Well, we'll see next week. We have 2 games this week. We have one Friday, Saturday.
We got the Wings on Friday. We got the Habs on Saturday. And then after that, I believe Tuesday against Ottawa. And then we got Washington on Wednesday as well. So we got 4 games. Washington will be tough. The other 3 should be wins. But you never know.
You never know. You want to sign us off?
You're the intro, and
Guys, it's been fun. Tell us what you think. Like, subscribe, feedback, and go puck yourself.
we're only on YouTube, right?
We're only on YouTube.
To start.
To start.
Yeah.
We're getting initial reaction.
Yeah.
So if you're already listening to this, you already know that.
Yeah.
You don't need to look anywhere else.
Yeah.
Tell your friends. Tell your uncle. Tell your stepdad. Anyone who likes hockey.
Anyone who likes the Leafs.
Yeah, anyone who likes the Leafs. Or if you hate the Leafs and you just want to see desperate fans,
Yeah.
try and hold on to hopes that one day we
Whatever.
might actually see a silver
If
cup.
you want to listen, listen. If you don't, don't. I'm not gonna hurt anyone's feelings. Don't worry.
Shout out Lester.
Yeah.
Bye.